Hey everyone, welcome back. And in this video, I want to just go ahead and take a look at some advanced CSS selectors, and we'll just go ahead and take a look at all CSS selectors as a matter of fact, which are most common, and as well as cover the advanced ones, because I think I did not cover it very well in the basics course. So anyway, let's just go ahead and start with the advanced ones, and we can just cover out the basics one later on as well. So I'm going to start off with the sibling selector only, right? Something which we discussed. So you can see right here, if you want to target immediate siblings, what we can go ahead and do is I can just go ahead and create two siblings here. Sibling 1, let's go ahead and create 3 instead. Sibling 1, sibling 2, sibling 3, right? Or maybe like, why not 4? Anyway, so you can see right here, we have 4 p tags, which are siblings. And what do you mean by sibling? That means they are the same order in the hierarchy, right? In this case, they are all the children of the single div. That means this div is the parent of all these elements, and all these elements within themselves are siblings of each other. That means h1 is the sibling of this p, this p, this p, this p, this p, all the this p, but not this ul, because h1 is sort of like the, I don't know, like the brother of the parent. You know, I don't know the name, but there's that. But anyway, you can think of this p right here, all these p's, to be siblings of h1, and similarly each and everything. So for now, we're just going to keep our focus on these 4, right? And I'm going to remove or probably like comment out these guys, right? So that they don't really bug us. So I'm going to also comment out this one. So we just have, you know, p tags as siblings. So what you can do is you can go ahead and select siblings using immediate siblings using the plus symbol. What this means is that, hey, let's say if I want to select the immediate sibling of this h1, which is p, what I can do is I can go ahead and say h1 plus p is color as blue, or background color as blue, or whatever. I can see this one turns blue, but the others do not. Why? Because this plus right here denotes the immediate sibling, right? That means this p should be the immediate sibling. However, if we have another span, let's say as an immediate sibling, then that span would not get any style. Why? Because first of all, that is not a p tag, and this p will also not get any style, which it got earlier. Why? Because this is now not an immediate sibling. However, if I move this at one place up, you know, things get blue again. So there's that. Now, there is another sort of way to select sibling, and that is, you know, far away siblings, and, you know, sort of like all siblings as well. And that is with the tilde sign, right? Which is above, which is on the left of the 1 key. So once you do this, this means that, okay, I want to select all the p's which are siblings of h1. Does not matter if they are immediate, you know, in this case, this one, or does not matter if they are far enough. It'll just go ahead and select all the siblings, right? But remember, obviously remember that it's not selecting any children or parent or any sort of thing. It's just the sibling stuff. So this is how you work with siblings in CSS. Just to revise, plus is for, you know, selecting the immediate sibling, and the tilde sign is for selecting far away siblings as well. Now, the next one is the direct child of the element. Now, what does this mean? Let's say if I have a p tag with a sibling, or maybe like let's say if I have an h1 right here, which is a secret about me. So if we have something like this, what we can do is I have this div tag and this h1, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this, and I'm going to write div h1, and I'm going to say text decoration underline, right? Which is just going to underline this text. So you see, in this case, both about me and secret about me gets underlined. Why? Because, well, this div and h1 targets both of these tags, this one as well as this one. But what if I only want to target elements which are direct children of div? Now realize that in this case, the parent of this h1 is div, but the parent of this h1 is not div. Div is the grandparent of this h1. The parent of this h1 is this p tag, right? So if this div, which is like the sort of grandparent of this h1, if this div only wants to target its children, but not any other hierarchy down the line, then you can go ahead and use a sort of, this bracket, right? Angular bracket. And once you do this, what's going to happen? And it looks like and it looks like the thing is broken, or, it seems like the thing is not working. And the reason for this, I'll tell you. If you go ahead and visit this page right here, if you go to inspect, you're going to see that the DOM, which is computed by the browser, is sort of different. That P has thrown away the H1. And the reason for this is because by semantics, P is not allowed to contain an H1 tag. So instead of P, let's just go ahead and throw a section here, right? So if we have a section, now you can see that our style just works fine as expected, right? Similarly, if you have a section H1 like this, then only this one gets covered, not this one, obviously. But in this case, only this one gets covered. However, if you just go ahead and just to reiterate, if you go ahead and just do div h1, then both of them will be covered to any depth or any hierarchy. So there's that. That is sort of like another selector you can think of. The next one I would say are pretty much the general selectors which we have worked on. There's another one I could just probably just throw out there for you, and that is the star selector. The star selector basically matches every single element, right? If you use it on a sort of global scope, this literally means like every single element on your page. So if I go ahead and give it a color of white, and if I just close it like this, I think I did not discuss important, right, on the CSS specificity video. But yeah, let's just go ahead and make another one for that. But anyway, color white right here, you can see every single element turned white, right? If you just force give it a color, with important, that will actually turn literally everything, even the pseudo elements and all that stuff. So this is that. If you want to only div to only convert, so you can do pretty much not really div, because that is like the main child. If you want to have like section, for example, so there's that. You can see the h1 gets converted. If it had contained like some more stuff, it will also get converted, right? So the difference between just doing section of color white and section star of color white is important, right? And it is important to understand as well. Right here, what's happening is that you are selecting individual elements as if you are writing section P, section H1, and just all the elements all the way. However, when you do section, what happens is that this property right here is applied to this element, and the elements always have a tendency to borrow certain properties from parents like color, font size, all that stuff, if that is not explicitly set, right? So let me just show you a quick example of this. If I have a section, I have a font size of, let's say, 30 pixel, then you're gonna see that nothing changes, I guess. Nope. Anyway, you're gonna see that nothing really happens because they already have their own defined font sizes, right? So they do not need to borrow from parent. However, if you do section star, you're gonna see that everything becomes 30 pixels. Or let me just go ahead and make it 100 pixels. It's crazy big. So that's how we can see it, right? So now we have seen everything becomes 100 pixel, but with section alone, things become 100 pixel. But if I go ahead and, okay, well, that happens because we do not have a font size specified for H1. That was a wrong size. So you can see now if I have a, let's say, font size of 30 pixels for H1, you can see the H1 does not inherit the font size, but the P tags do, because they are actually not having any font size. But if you go ahead and if you give a P of font size of 24 pixels as well, then you're gonna see nobody inherits. However, now if you give a section star, people start inheriting, because this means literally every single element. And the reason this is not inheriting is because of the specificity reasons. Now if you go ahead and refresh this, you're gonna see on here, you're gonna see the star has a very low specificity, right? And that gets cancelled out. However, if you remove this, then you're gonna see that it actually inherits. But anyway, that's like the crux of it. So yeah, that is again, a star is a special selector. Then apart from this, we have IDs. I hope you all know about this. ID, for example, all, I can give this a div ID all. And we then target this particular element, right? Like this. We also have classes dot all. You can give it a class of all, and that is one and the same thing. The only difference between IDs and classes is that ID should be unique on a single page, whereas class could repeat, right? So you can make use of this class for some other div as well. But if you have given an ID of all, then, well, technically nobody's stopping you to reuse this, but you should never ever reuse this, because it will create a ton of headache for you in the JavaScript if you do. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the CSS selectors video. Hope you enjoyed it. That is all for this video, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.